everybody, it's Bree Janes back at you. So I just wanted to take a moment to talk about conscious connections. So if you stumble across this video and it comes up on your feed and you click on it, I want you to know that that is not a coincidence. There's no such thing as coincidence in your world, and it is a conscious connection. So in order to actually establish an awareness, you have to make yourself aware of these connections. So if you see these videos and it's inspiring you to do something such as talk about a traumatic event that happened in your life, or reach a hand out to somebody that needs help, or maybe even establish a thought process of getting your own help, if those videos do that for you, then obviously it is a sign from a greater purpose that you have something you need to live out. And it's very important that you follow these inspirations. I know a lot of people, it comes and it goes, and the best way to follow your true self's inspirations is to jot it down. So say you're watching this video, you think to yourself, I want to quit doing this. This is something I've been thinking about since I've been watching your videos here on Breaking Chains, and I would like to talk about something that I experienced as a child, but I feel like I can't do it yet. It's not a bad idea to start writing these things down, because the things that you think, they come and go within a matter of a few minutes, and we can't always hold on to them. We're not meant to. Our brains are very powerful, but they hold a lot of short-term and long-term information. And it is practically impossible to be aware of every minuscule thought that could be of great importance. So our subconscious is what is going to bring us the most valuable information for our lives. But we spend a lot of time focusing on what's in the forefront of our brain, basically our frontal lobe, those things that are all our actions and, our current memories, things that are plaguing us currently and causing us to worry. That is almost like static. So your brain is full of all these different thought processes, and then you have this static full of a bunch of crap that really doesn't matter. And then in the back there's this little voice that's trailing in little thoughts and ideas, but you can't seem to grab them because all your worries and current lifestyles are affecting that. So when you take the time to meditate, this is where meditation comes in. When you take the time to meditate, you're allowing other things to come from the back of your mind to the forefront of your brain. So tonight, I want you to try and just sit down in a relaxing spot, close your eyes, and envision a seed in the ground growing into a tree. And I want you to think of all the different things on this tree. Just envision it getting bigger and bigger and bigger, all the leaves sprouting on the tree, the different insects, the flowers, everything that you want this tree to look like. And then imagine that the tree is you. So if you want to be a big, beautiful, growing tree that is going to leave healthy seeds for generations to come, then you have to water it and correctly nurture it. In order to do that, you can't eat unhealthy, smoke cigarettes, do drugs, let in people with negative energy, because all you're going to do is kill the tree, which is you in retrospect. So as you're imagining the tree growing, towards the end of your 15-20 minute meditation of watching the tree grow, when you decide it's time for you to come out, all those thoughts that came along the way are things that might be meant for you to meditate on in the future. So as you're thinking of the tree growing, these little, thoughts that kind of just pop in and out, those are very important. Those are the things that may need to be there because they're coming from maybe a higher awareness, and you haven't realized it because you've been thinking about all these other minuscule things throughout the day. I'm sorry, but what you ate this morning does not matter. Your boyfriend's new friend from Minnesota coming over doesn't matter. Your child's addiction to candy doesn't matter. Those things do not matter. In the long run, they don't matter. Filling out your higher purpose as a human and, your most biggest amount of potential, fulfilling that is what really matters. So, in the end, we live short lives. We all pass away. So you want to be able to say that you put the most work into it, and all this time you spend thinking about those things, you destroy all that time you could be doing good things and helping yourself. And with the good and bad in us, we can only feed one or the other. We all have both of them. So when you go home and you meditate and these things come to your mind, when you're done meditating, if you can remember some of those things, jot them down And in the morning, I want you to think of all the things that cause your tree to die. So think about all the poisonous things you do to your body. Think about all the unhealthy people you talk to, all the people that cause you to walk away feeling drained, out of energy. I want you to think about how you feel about your job, how you feel about being at home, how you feel about the people around you, how you feel about your relationship with your children and your parents and those close to you, and if you need to cut them off, because it's perfectly okay to cut people off. I don't care if they're your family or not. You know, if it's not good for you, it's not good for you. Connections don't always have to be blood. It's definitely, you know, blood and water may be thicker, but definitely doesn't matter. So, you know, at the end of the day, tomorrow you're going to have a list of things that you can work on, and you make this small list of all the things that you want to do, and they can be positive things to help the tree grow. And then tomorrow night, when you complete your meditation, you meditate on fulfilling these things that will help your tree grow. So in time, you can think about getting rid of a couple poisonous things you do to yourself, and you can think about potentiating good things that you want to do that you can take 5 minutes out of your day to do. Because I promise you, you have 5 minutes. And if you meditate every day for the next couple of days, you'll find so many awesome things come to your brain that weren't there before. And the static starts to subside, and all the little voices that have been trying to come through can come through to you. That's called, you know, conscious awareness, conscious connections. So if you want to look into life and see all these cute little connections that are meant to be there, pay attention to different numbers, pay attention to signs, pay attention to people when they tell you things that make sense that you've been thinking of. Have you ever thought about a color of a car that you wanted and suddenly you see the car everywhere? It's not coincidental. But that's all I have for the day. I'm going to post some videos of some interviews I did. Have a good one, guys. Thank you. If I can end it.